like dropped the
Okay.
mic and like walked off like all as a joke, and they're like, well, it's like that mic is expensive.
Yeah. So did you expect that when you did? Because I remember I saw that. I was that
Oh no,
actually
I
because I noticed.
I was totally like because it wasn't until like I think 1 or 2 days after where they were even made the decision because at the time I don't think anybody cared.
I mean, because they know what when you're doing a run, there's gonna be some stuff like that. I guess you're gonna try to do some entertaining stuff for sure.
Yeah,
But
sometimes.
yeah. So how about So after that, I mean, what when you heard that, what was your reaction? Like, was you like shocked, or was you like okay, or were you kind of angry? How did you feel?
Oh, it was actually like yeah. I remember when I woke up and my fellow roommate Bonzi said that they were talking about it, and I was like surprised then. But when I actually talked to them, I was like, all right, it's like this is your event. Even if I disagree with the rules, it's like they're the ones running it. If they want to ban me, all right. They did this right. They said that they didn't want me in the stream room, so it's like all right. I'll just hang out with all the other people because I know some people like you could like where you could disagree with like if they if their interpretation of a rule you disagree with, but I think it's like if they're at heart it's like it's a private event. If they want to ban someone even for like a completely fabricated dumb reason, it's like they can do that. I know some people might have they might view it as like no, it's like people any speedrunner like should deserve to be here, but it's I don't know. I take a different stance.
I think that's the right way to take it too, because you're right. It is their event; they can do whatever they want. Some people do get a little bit more up in arms, but that's interesting here that you are not like that. You kind of accepted it.
Yeah.
So how about let's talk about no stranger to banning. You also are banned on the Speed Demos Archive forums, which is the main forum for speedrunning. If anyone that's anyone on speedrunning is there, Trihex, PJ, Feasel, everyone, it's Sinister One, everyone's on there, and you were on there too, and you have a lot of posts, but you are now banned now. So what was the reason behind that banning?
Uh, someone posted. Oh no, yeah, it was during I think HGQ 2015. A thread to make like a Super Smash Bros. Melee tournament, and I linked to like a somewhat like infamous Twitter post or like a Facebook post. Well, it was a Twitter post about a Facebook post of a guy saying that like asking people to shower because the day they book the hotel staff calls it the smelly day. And this is like I've already made like a bunch of shit posts about how like the Smash events smell bad. And I'm not like SDA used to be, like the one-stop shop for speedrunning, but now with like speedrun.com and stuff, it's getting unbanned is like I never thought of like appealing the ban or anything because they probably would unban me if I asked. It's just that it's not really like the hot spot these days. What I find funny about that is like if you talk to the staff and stuff back room, they're fully aware that it actually was a problem. Like the biggest at HGQ 2014 where they had a big Smash tournament, and for like 2 days no one wanted to use the casual room. It was like it was an actual problem, and the staff were fully aware. It's just me kind of just like exaggerating and bullshitting about it was the issue. More so than the.
Like, you've never kind of been afraid to say your opinion, kind of shit posting something you're not a stranger to. So I think you've also had some in the past, and many years ago, you used to do some, used to be critical of GDQs about the charity and stuff like that. You still feel that way? The charity could be changed?
Yeah, it's like I think there's better charities. I don't think it's. I know some people try to portray like PCF as this giant like shady shadow government organization. I don't think any of that's true. I just think that Doctors Without Borders all year would be cooler, or even just like alternating with. I know there's another thing brought up when they asked about charities. I think it was it was a Cancer Research Institute, and I was like, yeah, this sounds better. I don't think it's like there's any like unethical shit going on. I just think there's better options.
Okay, so it's not like some serious stance or anything. So how about I want to talk about, since you were there at the very beginning, right? And you kind of have seen this whole thing kind of grow to be the place it is now. Was it always a big, after you said you kind of started really going competitive after the CGDQ. So did you expect it to get as big as it is now? Because now it's like, everyone knows about speedrunning. Back then it wasn't like that, right? So did you see it going this big?
I didn't really expect any kind of video game thing to be big. Like, and I know now Counter-Strike Go and stuff will sometimes be on, like TV stations. Because I knew that was a thing in like Korea with StarCraft matches, but I didn't think that would ever happen like outside of Korea. But now it's like video game stuff is popular. Oh yeah, one thing I
Yeah.
remembered about PCF. There's one that people one thing didn't like was how PCF would like a portion of the funds that's raised by like a GDQ, they would usually like fund another, and some people would have a huge problem with that. But it's like I guess that's a thing that people dislike about some charities in general is that like if they use like 10% of it to fundraise another event that would raise much more money, they have issues with that. But I think that's like fundraisers are kind of integral to a charity, so I don't think that I think there should be more of a push for fundraisers and stuff like that. That's more of like an issue with charity than GDQs per se. That I did give a lot of shit for was like how they spent money or like equipment and stuff. Because at worst, I think they just mismanaged some funds. I don't think there was any like embezzling or shit like that going on. Just unnecessary purchases.
Yeah, and then you kind of start, and I don't know if it was in response to that or response to your banning or whatever, but you started your own kind of marathon.
Well, it's like a lot of people have stated just because like GDQs have gotten to the size where there's over 1,000 people, and for like more of the I guess introverted types or people who are just they don't want to so much go to a convention, but just like a group of speedrunners hanging out sort of deal. And a lot of people expressed interest in going to an event like that, so I just up and made it. Like signed a contract with a hotel for a week, and people showed up.
Yeah, you make it sound a little easier than it is, but it's a lot of work, right?
Not really. You just need to like get a venue, like see how many people want to go, get a venue. If it's only like 5 people, you could rent an Airbnb. If it's 50, just look for a hotel that has, I don't know, 1,000 square feet.
But there's a lot more work than that, right? You got to choose. Did you choose the game? Did you kind of filter how many games to get in? Did you just let everyone who wanted to play?
Oh yeah. The first NAS actually a weird game thing where I just asked everyone to be like a judge, and you like everyone could just like say yes or no to a game as a speed game, and then the total tally of like how many yeses or nos would decide if a game was in. I would start with like the ones with the most yeses and work my way down. I think that system can work. It's just you'd need a lot more dedicated people because it's basically just like a democratically electing, a series of games. It's just that you need way more people than we had and dedicated ones at that.
So what's kind of your future goals with that? You want to keep? You said you want to keep it small, so I guess growth is not the end goal, right?
No, because if NASA did get big, then it would lose like the reason I made NASA was to hang out with buds. I guess if it does grow, I could put in some arbitrary thing of like only runners can go, something like that. I guess that's what DeuceCon did, but that's different because it was literally at his house.
Yeah.
But something like that, I could just. I doubt it will come to a point where we need to instill any kind of limit because it doesn't seem to have any growth outside of like people who just want to hang out with speedrunners. Which and it's I guess there would be growth if I guess like at GDQs there's like big name Twitch streamers and there are like fans who want to hang out with those people, and so far none of those people have been to NASA. In theory, that could be another like another reason that NASA won't grow is that none of the big names can use it for advertising. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, that's good. That's true. It's not as big. It's not as big of a advertising or promotion.
Even I don't think GDQ actually is that big. If you look at people like gaining follower counts, it usually doesn't make a big difference unless you're like a star of the show like Blecky was, where it's like if you're just on camera for one run, unless it's like a huge hit, it's probably not really gonna make a difference if you're trying to use GDQs as a means of growth. I don't think it's like meant for that, or if it's good at it.
Yeah, it's definitely not good at it. But I do want to talk about one. Speaking of big hits, you were on the couch for I think top 5, maybe top 10, for sure top 10 runs of all time, and it was a big hit, and it did make him get thousands of followers. That man's name was CGN, and it was with the F-Zero GX. So any memories of that run? I mean, if you haven't seen that run, stop what you're doing and go listen to it. Watch it because it is just, I don't know why, but it's just magical,
It was crazy good because what surprised me more was the day before, like earlier in the day, where in practice CGM was playing stage 2 and getting like consistent 32s, which is like insane because my PB after like hours of grinding is just like barely sub 40, and he can just crank that shit out like it's nothing. And he's just like the best at the game. Although